Hey, what's up everyone? In this video, I'm going to be covering a portion of the image optimization for My Listing Websites guide. We're going to be talking about the scenario as we see on my screen here. Images won't be uploaded from the front end of your website, meaning in this scenario, you, the website owner, and you and your team members will be the only ones uploading images to your website from the back end, most likely. Okay, so this means like you're managing the listings even on behalf of your users and customers. So you're uploading those large cover images, those large gallery images, and so on and so forth, in addition to your actual website images. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to show you my exact steps that I take in this scenario and the exact steps that I have my clients follow when I'm helping them build their site or maintaining it. Okay. So here, if we look at this image on my workstation, if I hover over it with Windows, it should show me the dimensions, and there we go. So this is a JPEG that is 3000 by 2000 pixels, and the size is 1.23 meg. Now, some might argue that 1.23 meg is very small. We'll just call it 1 meg from here on out. But that is actually a really, really large image size, and it adds up and it eats up your disk space when you think about all the thousands of images that are going to hit your website. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind. 1.23 meg is what we're starting at. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and minimize this. Now it's time to get this image up on my site, but before I do that, I need to compress it, and I actually want to resize it also on the fly. There's a million tools that you can do this with. My preferred tool is Squish. It's a free tool. You can see the URL right here, squish.app. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna click on this icon right here. You can actually drag the image as well into there if you'd like. So I'm gonna grab this image. Okay, we see it, it's a huge image, okay? 3000 by 2000. One of the really cool things about this tool is that you can resize it as well at the same time. So I want to resize, click this resize toggle here, and I wanna change the width 1920. Okay, this is the max width that I recommend for cover images. The minimum, actually, the minimum and the max. Just set it to 1920 wide. Okay, and then I also recommend for the height to do by 1080. So what that is, those dimensions are what's called full HD, full high definition. Okay, it's not the end of the world if you go 1920 by 1280. But if you can get it down to 1920 by 1080 and it still has the subject matter all contained in the image, meaning you're not cutting out some vital parts of the image, then try to get to that, because going to a height of 1280 is just not needed. So it's just that extra 200 pixels that you're adding to the image. Okay, so we're just going to go with this for the purposes of this video. So we got it down to 1920 by 1280. Obviously, if you are uploading this to a section of your website that doesn't require a huge image, like trying to think of an example, we'll just think of like a CTA card or something, or an image box widget or something like that just requires maybe like a 300 by 300 pixel image. Obviously, you wouldn't want to go to a width of 1920 here. Just go to like 300 by 200. Okay, if you want it to look really good on Retina devices as well, you could just double the resolution, okay, for Retina devices. All right, so I'm gonna go back here, go back to 1920 by 1280. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dive down here, and under the compress settings, I'm gonna set this to WebP, okay? And I'm not gonna mess with any of this other stuff. You can tinker with this on your own. I typically don't mess with it. I just set my dimensions if I need to resize the image. If I don't need to resize it, I don't touch this. But let's just say I need to resize it, which I just did. I jump down to compress, set it to WebP, and that's it. Just that fast. And then I click this download button. And we see here that we were able to compress this by 94%, and it tells us the outcome of our file, which is 82.9 kilobytes. So over and over again, I've heard the pushback. Ryan, my users I can't even get my images down to whatever, 500 kilobytes, 600 kilobytes, whatever you want to set that max image file size. I hear that pushback all the time. And when I show them this video, this video, they're like, oh, that is really not difficult to do. So it doesn't matter if the image is coming through like from your iPhone or an Android, like a mobile device that takes photos that land in the 10 megabyte size, for example. You can get those images down really small, okay, with minimum loss of quality, if any at all. Okay. And like I said, you can adjust the quality here on this little slider and get it to where you need it to be. But I typically don't mess with that. Obviously, if you have a website that's for photos, like a photographer website, a directory for photographers listing all their work, you probably will want to dial up the quality quite a bit. That's obviously going to increase the file size on there, okay? But you got to think about the long-term viability of your business. If you are already on a tight budget and you then start filling up all the disk space on your server, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt. It may not be now, it may not be in a month, it may not be 3 months, but once that does hit and you say, oh, I've got hundreds of gigs worth of images, and now I need to find another solution out there. Just take care of this from the very beginning of your website. If you've been running your website for a while now, I would highly recommend identifying those large images and replacing them with a WebP version, or at a worst case, just of smaller dimensions and compressed, okay? So anyway, that's that. We now have the image on our computer here. So let me go to my downloads folder, which is where Squish is going to drop the image. And we see here that it's a WebP, and it's 81 kilobytes. Now, that is awesome, and that is typically all you need to do. But as the guide here, if you're looking at the guide, that's step one. So that's how I do that. You've got the image super far down. Now, if you're using Kinsta, the next part is that Kinsta, along with Cloudflare, are going to work together. And let's just say that you didn't optimize it to WebP already, like I just did. What Kinsta and Cloudflare are going to do together is they're going to look at that JPEG, for example, and they're going to say, hey, can we take this JPEG? Can we then serve it in the WebP format? And if so, they're going to convert it to that WebP format and serve it at the edge and not on your server. So it's going to be further compressed, further optimized at the edge and served off of your server, which is going to take the load off your server. Just a lot of really good benefits there. That's step two, all right? And I give you the setting that I use there on Kinsta for that. So it's going to run through Kinsta, it's going to run through Cloudflare, and then step three is the testing. How do we know if it works? And then I've got a video here at the bottom of this guide that walks through this, okay? So those are the 3 steps. If you are in the scenario where you are uploading all of the images to your website. Now, in this other scenario, it could be a mixed bag. So images will be uploaded from the front end of your website, okay? So you might be you will be uploading images to build your actual website. You might be even creating some demo listings, which you would be uploading the images for those. Maybe you've got a service where you are helping people put images into their listings and build their listings in general, but listing owners will have the ability to upload the images to their listings. In that case, that's where this scenario comes in. So let me show you here how I do this for starter sites. Okay, so here is the Fit starter site, for example. Paste that in here. Okay, so then if we were going to go and we were going to add a listing, let's add a gym listing here. We'll just pick any package. We'll go with the most expensive one for fun. And I need to log in, so let me do that really quick on my other screen. All right, so we're gonna get logged in here. Okay, so again, let's go back here. We're gonna add a listing. All right, so going through here, we're going to hit a section where we talk about our images and uploading those images. Here we go. So we call this media right here. All right. Okay, so I give the instructions. I educate the users right here. Need to reduce your image size? That's the question I ask them. Go to Squish. This is going to be a link that opens up Squish in an external tab. Very important that it doesn't take them away from your website. Okay, very simple instructions. Upload your image. Choose WebP from the drop-down menu. Now, I could probably be more precise on that, and after doing this video right here, I'm probably going to I will circle back to the starter sites, and I'm going to update this and be a little more precise here. Upload your image, and I'm going to put something about potentially about resizing it to the dimensions, but I'll have to think about that. They may not even need to go that far because we're way ahead of the game if at a minimum we just say, hey, choose WP from the compression drop down. That's the piece that I'm missing there. I just said drop down menu and they may not know. Let's go look at that real quick. So put that image in here. Yeah, I guess it is the only drop down, but maybe I could be more clear. So I'll think about that. So anyway, you're giving them really simple instructions. I mean, if they can't follow that, then I really don't know what to tell you. I just walked through it with you and showed you just how easy that is. Let's do it one more time. Click, and you can do a video like this. I would do a video like this for your website under maybe the support page or something like that. Click that icon, select your image, select WebP from the drop down, and click download. I mean, if your users cannot follow those instructions, I would question whether I even want them to be a customer of mine or a user on my website, because if they can't do that, they're probably going to be a real pain in the ass customer client going forward, because this is super simple. This screams laziness to me. This isn't asking them to do something technical. It's just simple steps. Okay. All right, guys, I hope this video was useful, and definitely check out this image optimization guide. It's been recently revamped, reworked, rewritten, all that good stuff to stay up to date with what my processes are and what I do for clients. Okay. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one, and hope all is well.